Hi, my name's Alex Seidel. I'm the emissions engineer here at Aprovecho Research Center, and today we're going to show you how to set up a LEMS, a laboratory emissions monitoring system. To start with, let's just talk about how much space you'll need in your lab. This is the hood that you'll be building. The dimensions are in our manual, and the general space requirements are from the far side of the hood all the way to the blower over here. You will need about 3.7 to 4.2 meters of length. There's an adjustable duct involved, so you have some space to play with, but that's the general space requirements you'll need. You'll notice we already have our blower set up. Normally that'll be part of the construction that you have to do, but here we have it already set up. The key points about the blower are it needs to have the exhaust pointing up, and the exhaust needs to be heading outside of the room. You don't want the exhaust from the blower to recirculate into your laboratory. So here it's heading out the roof. If you mounted it outside your building, you'd be good too, because then the exhaust is outside. And if it is outside, you're going to want to build some kind of enclosure to protect the blower from the weather. Here it's inside, so we don't have to worry about it, but outside you'd want to build a box around it. If you do build it outside, you'll also want to make sure that the box protecting it is easy to get in and out of, so you can clean it when necessary. Here we have it inside, there's no box, so we can get in to clean it very easily. These are the 13 parts that are shipped with the LEMS. You'll notice that each part has a rolled edge on each side of the duct, and that is so you can connect it with the quick connects that we include with the LEMS. This makes the LEMS very easy to assemble and very easy to disassemble for later cleaning. To put it together, you'll notice the rolled edges fit nicely next to each other. You take your quick connect and you put one edge of the duct into each side and clamp it together just like that. This makes a nice, easy connection. It's airtight and it's very easy to disassemble again when you need to clean it. So let's go over the 13 parts of the LEMS before we start setting it up. Starting from the hood side and going towards the blower, we have the hood adapter that sits on top of the hood and puts it into the rolled edges so we can use our quick connects on the rest of our pieces. Then we have two flow gates right here, a T-junction, two elbows, then we have a 16.5-inch duct, the flow grid duct, you can see the flow grid inside, one 24-inch duct, and you'll notice that this one has, again, the two rolled edges for the quick connects. You'll see why that's important in a second. We have a 27-inch sampling duct where you take your samples out of, and you can see inside there's the sample tubes. We have another 24-inch duct, but the difference is this one has one rolled edge and one clean edge, and that is so it can fit into the adjustable nipple duct, which gives you some play in your system. And we'll take a look at that more in a second. And then the last piece is the blower adapter. So it goes from the rolled edge that connects in with the other ducting, and this part screws into the blower. And those are your 13 parts. When you start constructing your LEMS, I find it the best to put it together once on the floor so you can judge your spacing, where your hood is going to go, where your blower is going to end up. And so that's what we'll do first. We'll show you how everything fits together, and we'll split that up into two parts so it's a little easier to follow. The first part, if you look at one that we've already set up, is going to be the part from the hood to and through the elbows here. The second part we'll describe is the straight part where all the sampling takes place. So let's go to that first part. So we're going to start with our hood adapter that'll be on top of our hood, and we'll attach it to one of our flow gates. And we're good at this, so I'm gonna... What if we did it as a musical? What if we sang the LEMS construction? Alright. The second part we're going to put in is our T-junction. Our third part we're going to add is another flow gate. Our next part is one of the elbows. And then the last piece for this section is another elbow. So here's our first section of ducting. Now for the second part, the sampling straight ducting. We'll start with the 16.5-inch length of ducting, and we'll connect that into our flow grid duct. You'll notice it's labeled high and low. The high part is going to go connected to the straight part, and then the low part is where we're going to connect to next. Our next piece is going to be a 24-inch duct, and you notice it has two rolled edges. That's the piece we want next. And we'll attach that to the low side of the flow grid ducting. Next is our sample duct. You'll notice it's got our sample port, the gravimetric sampling port, and the temperature duct as well, temperature port as well. And you'll see that if you look inside, the ports are all pointed in one direction towards the short end of the duct. That is the part we want pointing into our last piece that we just connected, the 24-inch duct. So we'll connect that up. Also, just in general, you'll notice how we've got these pointed down towards you. I'm going to point the gravimetric sampling port down as well. I'm going to match it to these guys here. Our next piece is another 24-inch duct, but you'll notice that there's a one rolled end and one blank end, and we're going to connect the rolled end in next to the end of our sample tube. Our next piece is the adjustable nipple duct. This is going to fit in to that unrolled edge, and that's what's going to give you your adjustable length. If your wall is a little closer, a little farther, you'll be able to slide this duct in or out to adjust for how far your blower is away from your hood. And this is a little bit of a tight fit, so you kind of have to work at it for a little bit, but I promise you it fits in just fine. Now you can see I've got the adjustable duct fitted onto the end of the unrolled 24-inch duct. You'll see this is the black nipple that will seal this portion to the rest of the ducting. So we roll it over the edge, the rolled edge, and that will enable us to actually put one of these quick connects on and seal this in place wherever it needs to be. So we slide this over the end, and then it acts just like any other of our quick connect clamps. Here you can see I've put our adjustable nipple duct over the edge of the unrolled 24-inch duct. And now we have our black gasket, and we're going to roll that over the edge, and that black gasket will act just like any of the other rolled edges and let us put our one of our last quick connects on to seal this duct. So this quick connect is going to fit over the rolled edge and this black gasket together and create just another seal. And there you go. Next part is one I forgot. It was one extra part in the list. It's a new part. This is a vibration isolator. You'll see it's a regular duct, but it is coated with rubber inside and out to isolate the vibrations of the blower from the rest of the system. So we're going to put this right at the end of our ducting so the rest of our ducting doesn't get shaken around too much. So we connect that into the end. And so we have our vibration isolator attached to the end of the adjustable nipple duct. And then our very last piece is, which I won't actually connect right now because you'll want to connect this to your blower instead, is the blower adapter. It goes from the rolled edge that you can connect right into the vibration isolator and screw that right into the end of your blower. So now we're going to start our practice setup of the ducting so we can judge how much space we have and how much space the ducting is going to take up, and also where our blower is going to be. So this first part, we're going to take the parts of the ducting, the flow gates and the elbows, and put them on top of the hood, just like I have here. You'll notice that even if I take my hand off, it's fairly well balanced. So it should be pretty good to go when we practice setting up the other half of the ducting. But you can use aluminum tape right here around the edges, and that's what you'll want to do eventually, just to make sure that this stays on very well and won't fall off while you're working with the rest of the ducting. So after you set up the first part of the ducting, the gates and the elbows, you can put your straight pieces on, attached to the last elbow, to better figure out where your blower needs to go and how long your ducting needs to be. So if you look down this way, you can see that our ducting is a little bit too long, but that's okay because we can readjust it with the adjustable section of ducting. And we also have to figure out a way to get the ducting up to the blower. Normally, when the blower is not at that height, we'd really want to figure out a way to put the blower at the same height as the ducting. And that's something you can very easily do, for instance, when you're going through a wall and mounting your blower outside. You can mount it directly after this ducting on the outside. To adjust the length of this tubing, we're not going to adjust it while it's still attached here. What we'll do is we'll leave this straight part up, we'll take the adjustable ducting piece down and adjust it on the ground because it's a lot more practical and it won't run into any issues with deattaching this by accident. So as you can see, the space between the end of our straight pipe and our blower is a lot shorter than this last piece of ducting currently is. However, because this is adjustable, we can adjust it to fit the size of the space in between the ducting and the blower. All we need to do is release the clamp on the adjustable piece of ducting. We can roll the O-ring back up, and then we can push this down and shorten it to whatever length we end up needing to fit between the ducting and the blower. So after you've practiced setting up your ducting, you've located where your blower needs to go, you've mounted your blower outside, and you've attached all the ducting in place, the last part you need to do is make sure that all the ducting is super secure and attached to in your laboratory. So what you need is at least 3 supports for the ducting. You'll see here we have 2 supports on the straight parts of the ducting, and it's important to note that they're also easily detachable for when you need to clean the LEMS occasionally. The third piece is we need to have a connection between the elbows and our hood. So here you can see we have our attachment point here. We'll fix it up a little bit and we'll have a connection in between the hood and the elbow. That makes this whole curved piece a lot more stable. Alright, so we have our ducting set up. As you can see here, our LEMS has actually been in use for a couple days now. We know it's all working great. You'll notice, most importantly, we've got our 2 supports on the straight piece of ducting, one here and one over here. And you'll also notice that we've put them around the ducting in places that we can remove the rest of the ducting for cleaning easily when we need to. We also have a third connection that connects one of these elbows to the hood of the LEMS. And that's very important to make sure that our LEMS system is as stable as possible. A couple other things. We have our nice setup here with our computer and our sensor box. Also a good idea, we have a nice table right next to our sensor box. For setup for LEMS testing, we can put a scale there, our pots of water when we're doing testing. It's just nice and useful to have. That's about it for the LEMS setup. If you have any questions, you can check out the LEMS manual on our website at www.aprovecho.org, and you can always contact us if you have any questions about setup. Hope this helps, and I have a good time with your new LEMS.